If you watch my videos, you probably know this, but they've changed the drop rates and the mercy rates of the logbook. Now, for all logbooks, they've increased the rate drops naturally by 3 times. So, for example, the minimum requirement for the logbook, the minimum rarity, was 0.3%. This is now tripled to 0.9%, so nearly 1% chance. The maximum was 5% if an enemy had 100,000 health or higher. Therefore, this is now tripled to 15%. Therefore, something like the Fallen King, which has 200,000 health, it therefore has a 15% chance of dropping in a game. Therefore, it only takes like maybe 5 or 6 games, if that's, to get the logbook for the Fallen King. In fact, in 10 tries, the probability of getting the Fallen King logbook after killing the Fallen King or any other boss with over 100,000 health is 80%. This is using a binomial calculator. In fact, if we were to up this up to the 20%, the 20 that was before, you're basically guaranteed. It's like a 96% chance. Now, the eagle-eyed among you will know that I mentioned 20 because you're no longer guaranteed the logbook to drop on the 20 now. No, so they've changed it, so they've also tripled the pity logbook drop rate. So instead of dropping on the 20th kill, it now drops on the 60th kill. That's why I mention the Fallen King, because there's a 96% chance that it drops before 20 kills. In fact, it's not really that probability, it's still 15% chance, but 96% of players will get the Fallen King logbook before the 20th kill. In fact, majority of people will probably get it on like the 5th or 6th kill, as proven by my probability statistics. However, this does throw into the spanner what happens if there's an enemy that rarely appears and has such low health that its natural chance of spawning in is so low. So it is no longer the case that the bosses such as the Fallen King is the rarest logbook in the game. No, in fact, there are new enemies that are, quote, considered rarer because of their health and because of the fact that they spawn lesser than the bosses. And all I'm saying is, thank God for people who have the frost spawner, that you didn't need to kill that 60 times to guarantee that drop, because oh my god, that would have been terrible for you lot. Yes, its natural drop rate would have been higher, probably around about 8 or 9%, but still, that would have been terrible. Ah yes, back to the TDS wiki. So, when it comes to bosses, the Gravedigger, because it doesn't have 100,000 health, it's not guaranteed the 15% chance that it gets from logbooks, as is the standard case for other enemies. Other boss enemies, that is. So that means I'd say the Gravedigger has about a 3, 4, 5% chance of being dropped. Therefore, you may actually need to kill the Gravedigger 60 times to get its logbook. Luckily, hardcore mode does actually count for a Gravedigger kill, so you can either do it in easy mode, repeat that over again, or you could do the hardcore mode, because hardcore mode, there are going to be a couple of enemies that you're probably going to have to kill 60 times. But more on those later. In easy mode, most of these, apart from the Gravedigger, they're probably going to be very easy to get. In casual mode, Patient Zero is going to be slightly more difficult. However, there is a cheat for this. Just doing it in intermediate mode, it has 100,000 health in intermediate mode. It'll get you 15% chance as opposed to the half chance it'll get in casual mode because it has less health. Just do it in intermediate mode, come on. As for Molten mode, the Molten Warlord has over 100,000 health, so actually it's now more common to be dropped before the 20th kill, so that's good. The Molten Summoner has only 15,000 health, so actually it's going to be quite rare to drop it naturally, so you probably need to kill this about 40 to 60 times, probably. And looking at the Molten Summoner, there's 1, 2, 3. So there's only 3 Molten Summoners that spawn, so you're going to have to play Molten mode 20 times to guarantee the Molten Summoner logbook. So there's no difference compared to before. I mean, sure, you can probably go into a map with dual lanes or triple lanes to lower the amount of games that you do, but still, that's going to be difficult. Same for the Molten Executioner, it only appears 3 times as well. So Molten Executioner is going to be same difficulty as Molten Summoner, except I think the Molten Executioner is actually, the Molten Executioner actually has more health, so you're more likely to get the Molten Executioner logbook naturally than the Molten Summoner logbook before getting the pity kill at the 60th kill. Right, moving on to Fallen mode now. And the Fallen King is actually not that rare anymore because it's 50% chance of getting it if you kill it, so you're more likely not going to get it on the 5th or 6th kill. Fallen Guardian, I think has actually a lot of health. 32,000. Okay, so that's not too much, but there's 3, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 Fallen Guardian spawns, so you would need to do 9 Fallen matches to guarantee the Fallen Guardian. Okay, Templar, I think the Templars have 100,000, 10,000, so that's actually quite low. There's 4 Templar spawns, so that's actually more rare. About 5, actually, never mind. So you'll need to do Fallen mode 30 times, but I think the template also appears in some special maps, so maybe it's not as hard to get. Oh, wait, it only appears in Hardcore mode and Polluted Wastelands 2 now, since they removed it from Badlands 2. Right, that's going to be a challenge. However, I think it might be the Fallen Honor Guard that's quite difficult, because the Fallen Honor Guard doesn't appear too much, does it? So, let's see. So, the Fallen Honor Guard appears once and twice. So, you're going to have to do 30 games of normal Fallen mode to guarantee the Fallen Honor Guard a drop. Then again, it does have 75,000 health, so I estimate that to be about a 10% chance of dropping. So, you might actually get it before the 60th kill, but the pity kill. But you never know. And yes, you do get it in the hidden wave as well. I think 2 appear in the hidden wave. Nope, it's a lot more. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5, 6. So if you do a hidden wave, you get 6 honor guards. So that reduces the amount of games you need to do to 20. So 20 hidden wave fallen modes. Everything else is going to be easier than the Fallen Honor Guard, so you'll probably get those if you're grinding out the Fallen Honor Guard. And then we get to Hardcore mode, and Hardcore mode, whew, where do we begin? Because all of these enemies, some of these enemies are going to be easier to get, firstly. The Void Reaver, much more easier to get now. 50% chance of being dropped. Fallen Swordmaster, 50% chance. Molten Boss, actually, that's not a 50% chance because it doesn't have 100,000 health, but it's going to be around, I estimate, about 8% chance, so it's still higher than before, and you'll probably get it before the 60th Mercy kill. That being said, if your luck is unlucky, you might need to kill it there 60 times. You might need to do Hardcore mode 60 times. You know what isn't unlucky? Yeah, you already know this. The Health Cultist, yeah, 8,000 health, outrageously low. Even with the boost, right? Even with the triple boost, yeah, it's still like, what, a 1.8% chance of dropping? Yeah, no way are you getting this logbook before the 60th kill. That being said, though, I actually got the Health Cultist on my 12th kill of this, so it's not impossible. And those were the old odds of like 0.6% chance, so I must be very lucky. Yeah, so 66% of players will only get the logbook before the 60th kill for the Health Cultist. Now, with the amount of people that play Hardcore mode, you're looking at about 35% of people needing to beat the Health Cultist 60 times to get its logbook, which is going to be quite a lot. 35% of people needing to beat the Health Cultist. That's a lot. Bearing in mind that the Health Cultist only appears once in Hardcore mode. Now, you can actually boost the odds by playing Infernal Abyss, because the Health Cultist does triple in Infernal Abyss, so you don't only need to beat Hardcore 20 times. But let's be real, Infernal Abyss on Hardcore mode is going to be a pain in the arse, so I wouldn't recommend it. However, that's also a good idea if you're like missing like the Vindicator or the Unknown, because they're also going to be quite rare now, because you need the 60th pity kill to get these. So it's going to be a fine balancing act of what you need and what you don't need. The Gravedigger is going to be easier to get in Hardcore mode because it has more health in Hardcore mode compared to easy mode. So if you're grinding for the Gravedigger, do it in Hardcore mode. I already mentioned the challenge exclusive enemies, the Dark Necromancer and the Summoner Boss. The Summoner Boss is going to be even harder to get now because you need to kill 60 of these buggers, and I only believe that only 4 actually spawn in per game, and that's if you're lucky with the challenge. So you're going to have to do those challenges over and over again, unless there's a dual lane path map. So then you're going to have to do that just half that. So you know what? It's not as difficult as I'm going to think it's going to be. Same for the Dark Necromancer, except the Dark Necromancer spawns early, but there's less challenges where it can appear in, so it's not as difficult. As for Pizza Party, well, the hardest enemy here, it might not be actually intuitive. So firstly, Wax the Fox is not the hardest enemy because it has a lot of health. There's a 50% chance of getting its logbook. Mimic Umbria, those appear more than once, so it's unlikely to be the rarest one. The Minigunner also appears quite often as well, so that's unlikely to be the rarest one. The Reaper, however, appears thrice only. 36, 37, 39, I believe. But it does have a decent amount of health. That's like about a 5 or 6% chance of it dropping. So you may not need the pity kill, the 60th pity kill for the Reaper. But the Executioner, on the other hand, yes, it has a shield health of 65,000, so technically its health is 85,000, but its base health is the thing that's being used for the logbook drop rates, and it's only 20,000. And let's not forget, only 2 of these spawn per Pizza Party game. Therefore, you're more likely than not going to have to beat Pizza Party 30 times to get the Executioner. Sorry, the Executioner plush logbook. The Executioner plush logbook is one of the harder logbooks to get now because they've changed the mercy rate, and they've not significantly boosted the rates of the Executioner logbook drop rates high enough to counterbalance the fact that this only appears twice in Pizza Party. Badlands hasn't suffered with this as much as Pizza Party because there are 3 lanes, and also the one enemy that isn't duplicated, the Gunslinger, is a 15% chance of dropping because of its high health. Polluted Wastelands, Polluted Wastelands. I mean, do I even bother talking about this? It's going to get reworked sometime in the future. But, I mean, for now, the Nuclear Guardian's probably going to be... I mean, it's got quite high health, so that's not even going to be quite rare. So none of these enemies are going to be too hard to get in Polluted Wastelands. But I saved the rarest until last. The dummy boss. Yeah, that's 250 health? Yeah, that's like, what? 1% chance of it dropping? Yeah, good luck with that. You're gonna have to beat tutorial mode 60 times now. And previously, it was only 20 times. And even that was tedious, like 1.5 hours. Yeah, good luck. 4.5 hours. And unfortunately, I didn't do that. So I now have to grind out tutorial mode 60 times to get the dummy boss logbook. Hopefully they recorded my triumphs over the dummy boss before this update, because it's going to be a pain in the ass to do the dummy boss for 4.5 hours, because my god, why did I not get this sooner? But yes, those are the rarest logbooks in my opinion. Unless, I mean, obviously the Siege Engine is still the rarest, obviously, but the ones that you can get now, currently, I think it's the dummy boss. Feel free to disagree based on the evidence I said in this video, but I think it's the dummy boss.